The movie begins with two police detectives, Mason Danvers and Joel Gaynor, preparing to arrest Victor Abbott, a powerful drug lord, and his brother Griffin. When they arrive at the Abbott brothers' hideout, Griffin, already armed and prepared, ambushes them. He shoots Joel, paralyzing him temporarily, forcing him to retreat and hide. Mason engages in a fierce shootout with Griffin. Despite the intensity of the battle, Mason manages to incapacitate Griffin. He then searches for Victor, leading to another violent confrontation. Both men run out of ammunition and engage in brutal hand-to-hand combat. Victor overpowers Mason and nearly kills him, but Joel arrives just in time with backup. The Abbott brothers are arrested, but as Victor is taken away, he delivers a chilling threat to Mason, promising they will meet again. Mason returns home to his wife, Jocelyn. The two share a heartfelt conversation about their long-standing struggle to have a child. Despite their challenges, Mason reassures Jocelyn, encouraging her to keep trying. At work the next day, Mason's colleague informs him of a troubling development: all the witnesses who could testify against the Abbott brothers have mysteriously disappeared. With no evidence or witnesses left, the authorities are forced to release Victor and Griffin. Alarmed, Mason immediately calls Jocelyn, fearing for her safety due to Victor's earlier threat. To his horror, Victor answers the phone, revealing that he has already broken into Mason's home and taken Jocelyn hostage. Mason rushes back home but arrives too late. Victor brutally kills Jocelyn before Mason can stop him. Devastated, Mason nearly shoots Victor in a blind rage, but Joel stops him. Victor is arrested again, leaving Mason heartbroken and consumed with grief. Unable to move on from Jocelyn's death, Mason isolates himself. Joel visits him and suggests he take some time off to clear his mind, perhaps by going on a hunting trip. Mason appears to consider the suggestion, but instead of hunting animals, he sets out to find Griffin to avenge his wife's murder. After locating Griffin's whereabouts, Mason contacts Joel for backup but doesn't wait for reinforcements. He ambushes Griffin and kills him before the police arrive. Mason's actions result in his arrest, which he had anticipated as part of a larger plan to get sent to the same prison as Victor. In the prison cell, Mason was visited by a warden named Will, who informed him that he had been summoned to the warden's office. Upon arriving, the warden, Snyder, warned Mason that many of the inmates there were criminals he had apprehended, advising him to stay vigilant as they might seek revenge. Mason, however, had anticipated this and remained cautious. Later, in the dining hall, Mason encountered Victor, who taunted him about his wife's death. Mason responded by revealing that he had killed Griffin in the same manner Victor had killed his wife. Shortly afterward, while Mason was doing laundry, 3 inmates attacked him. Overwhelmed and unable to defend himself, Mason was on the brink of serious harm when Ben intervened, breaking up the fight and preventing Mason from sustaining severe injuries. The next day, inside the prison, Mason learns from Ben, a former detective turned prison warden, that Victor has established significant control over the inmates. Victor has killed the strongest prisoners, earning their fear and respect, and he continues to run his drug empire from behind bars with the help of his loyal henchmen, Drexler and Booker. Undeterred, Mason begins plotting his revenge. Mason starts by targeting Victor's allies. Using makeshift weapons, he kills Marco and Flynn, 2 of Victor's men. Furious, Victor orders Drexler to retaliate. Drexler sends another inmate to attack Mason in his cell, but Mason fights back and subdues the assailant. Mason has eliminated 3 of his men. Victor demands that Snyder allow him to kill Mason, but Snyder refuses, citing the risks of murdering a former police officer. Instead, Snyder provides Victor with an alternative plan, targeting Joel Gaynor. Under Snyder's orders, Lester contacts Joel, feeding him false information that Mason has been killed in prison. When Joel arrives, he is ambushed and brutally beaten by Victor and his gang, with Mason forced to watch helplessly. Enraged, Mason later meets with Snyder and proposes a deal. If Snyder allows him to operate freely, Mason will eliminate any external threats to Snyder's business. To test his loyalty, Snyder orders Mason to kill Booker, one of Victor's top enforcers. Mason completes the task swiftly, but in doing so, he sows the seeds of discord between Victor and Snyder. As tensions rise, Mason manipulates Victor into believing that Snyder was involved in Booker's death. Sensing that Victor will retaliate, Mason deliberately instigates a fight with a prison guard to be placed in solitary confinement, ensuring he remains out of reach when Victor strikes. While in confinement, Ben secretly provides him with a knife for self-defense. Snyder, realizing that Mason is becoming too dangerous, arranges for his immediate transfer to another prison. However, Mason seizes the opportunity to strike first. He ambushes Drexler, kills his men, and throws Drexler off the prison roof, causing him to land on Warden Will, killing both of them. The chaos that follows allows the prisoners to arm themselves, igniting a full-scale riot. Amidst the bedlam, Victor attempts to shoot Mason but accidentally hits another inmate instead. Seizing the moment, Mason challenges Victor to a final fight. Their brutal battle is interrupted when Snyder arrives and shoots Mason in the shoulder. Wounded, Mason watches as Snyder hands his gun to Victor, giving him the chance to kill Mason himself. However, Mason reveals a crucial piece of information: Snyder was the one who helped him kill Booker. Furious at the betrayal, Victor turns on Snyder, breaking his knee and leaving him incapacitated. The prison descends further into chaos. Mason fends off multiple attackers before Lester, the corrupt warden, pulls a gun on him. Mason quickly disarms and kills Lester before turning back to Victor. The two engage in their final, most vicious battle yet. Just as Victor is about to land a fatal blow, Mason pulls out the knife Ben gave him and slits Victor's throat, killing him instantly. With Victor dead, Snyder makes a last desperate attempt to kill Mason, but Ben intervenes, subduing him. The aftermath sees Snyder exposed for his corrupt dealings, leading to his arrest and conviction.